70 years ago this July, one of the most powerful men in baseball, Lou Gehrig, stepped up to a microphone and delivered a speech that has been quoted endlessly over the years.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
But it's the second part of his speech that resonates for people living with ALS.
That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
Each year, 5,600 people in the United States are diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Like Gehrig, most people are diagnosed in the prime of their life, usually between the ages of 40 and 70. And like Gehrig, many have led healthy, active lives. So aside from the hereditary form of the disease, which accounts for 10% of all cases, it often catches people by surprise, especially since the symptoms seem minor at first, a little difficulty swallowing or some cramping in the arms or legs, which is how it began for Mike Wright.
I had some twitching in my leg, and when I went to the doctor, he seemed very concerned. And I remember driving down with Beck, and she was looking at me kind of strange. And I said, "What's the matter?" And she says, "They think you might have ALS." And I says, "Oh, you mean Lou Gehrig's disease?" So I knew what it was, but I didn't know what the effects were.
They are daunting. ALS is a progressive neuromuscular disorder that gradually causes the muscles in the body to shut down, ultimately leading to total paralysis and eventually respiratory failure. Typically, patients live 2 to 5 years after the onset of symptoms, although some, like Mike Wright, live longer. Over the years, there have been advancements in treatment that have helped improve patients' quality of life, but there is still no known cause or cure, which is what led Les Turner, his family and friends, to create a foundation in 1977 to raise money for research. Today, the Les Turner ALS Foundation is one of the leading ALS organizations in the world. And what started out as a small laboratory at Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine has grown in size and stature. Headed by Dr. Tipu Siddique, who co-discovered the first known cause of a hereditary form of ALS, it is known the world over for its cutting-edge research on the genetic aspects of both the familial and sporadic forms of the disease.
We have been single-minded in finding the causes of ALS, and finding those causes have helped the rest of the ALS community to do research in terms of treatments, in terms of biology, and I think this is like opening a highway for traffic to flow through.
This year, those efforts have been doubled with the creation of a second laboratory that will be focusing in a new direction, cell biology. Heading the lab is Dr. Hande Ozdinler, who was recruited from Harvard Medical School and brings extensive knowledge in the area of neuromuscular biology.
It's an honor actually to be here with Dr. Siddique. Even though our work is different, there are so many avenues that we can interact. It's like a pieces of puzzle. They get together so very well.
Dr. Ozdinler brings new expertise in looking at the upper motor neuron. And the upper motor neuron has been a neglected field. And so we hope that she will be able to study this and see how things go wrong.
To really understand the disease and why it is different from other neurodegenerative disorders, we really have to understand the cortical component, the upper motor neurons that reside in the cortex, as well as the neurons that reside in the spinal cord, progressively degenerate together. Their location is very far away, and yet they know that they are their targets. So our goal in our lab is to understand why these neurons degenerate in disease, how they know that spinal motor neurons are their target, and what goes wrong in the disease. And we developed a way to isolate the spinal motor neurons to be able to understand their biology in detail. So imagine how much that's going to expand the field, because now we can really investigate why these neurons are dying. So I'm very hopeful and I'm very optimistic.
Part of that optimism comes from being able to join forces with Northwestern's highly respected Department of Neurology, which has partnered with the foundation since 1979.
It's also the feeling that I have that I am accepted into a family. And the financial support is amazing. It allowed me to build up the lab. I mean, you name it, we have it. And how did that happen? It happened by the gift that I received from Les Turner and Vansky Foundation. And without that, I wouldn't have any of these.
We are the engine. We can't take on pioneering work without funding from organizations such as Les Turner.
Right now, this foundation has taken the courage to establish a second lab. So they are taking care of today, taking care of patients, and they are also creating a stage for scientific advancement in the future. That's hope in itself. So I am very excited. And if I was a patient, I would be extremely excited.
I would absolutely say that Northwestern is the place, not only in the city of Chicago, I'm talking about in our nation, one of the very best.
Here, the patient is the essence.
Any type of help you need, they're there for you, and they couldn't be any nicer bunch of people there. They really take the time. I'm never rushed when I'm there, and I feel like they give me all the time I need.
Currently, it costs the Les Turner ALS Foundation $2 million a year to sustain its research and patient care programs at existing levels, which is why the success of foundation fundraising efforts, such as the Hope Through Caring Award Dinner and the ALS Walk for Life, is so crucial, not only for raising awareness, but also needed dollars. No one knows this better than patients like Mike Wright, his wife Becky, and their legions of family and friends. In the 6 years since he was diagnosed, they have consistently been one of the largest teams to participate in the walk, even this past September, in a torrential rain.
I'm just very humbled by the amount of support I get. You know, driving down there, it was just a non-stop rain, and I'm thinking, are they going to cancel this thing or not? And the turnout was incredible. I mean, everybody was soaking wet from their head to their toe. It really meant a lot.
Our friends, family, and our AtHomeAmerica family have truly joined us to help us find a cure. They participate in all kinds of things. We started by selling a Hope for Mike candle and then a little hope board cut out of wood, and we've sold tens of thousands of them.
And much of that money has gone to the Les Turner ALS Foundation. Through various fundraising activities sponsored by Becky's and her sister Lisa's company, AtHome America, and its charitable arm, HelpAmerica Foundation, they've donated $300,000 since Mike was diagnosed.
They have been very generous, as have other patients and their patients' families. And so we showed them the laboratory and told them about what we were doing and how was it different from others.
The team just seemed so committed.
I was really taken by how big the facility was and how much was going on there with all the scientists and doctors.
It was interesting for us. It was interesting for our youngest son. Also an opportunity to learn more about the disease, and also I think feel a sense of comfort of how many people are working on a cure for someone like Mike.
I think it has a huge impact when you know a patient. Then your experiment is not an experiment. You have to do it as quick as possible with all your good intentions, good effort, because that experiment is someone's hope.
The biggest question that comes to my mind at this point is, what is it going to take for us to find a cure?
That's our mission, and we are on that mission every day. And every day, the reason I come to work is because I'm very hopeful that today or tomorrow, we will find something that will change the lives of our patients.
We are together as a family here. So then that means we will support each other. That's why there are very qualified nurses and doctors. That's why there's a support group. That's why there are 2 different labs investigating at 2 different avenues. People are striving to do something. And that, I think, explains us why it is hope through caring. Because the moment you care, the moment you create the hope.
And it's for those reasons we honor Mike Wright and the AtHome America family tonight.
We love the word hope. We're surrounded by it, not only with the love of our family, but there's words all over the house, which is fine with me. Never enough hopes. There's been people coming to this dinner year after year after year, never losing hope, always giving what they can, working hard and tirelessly. And I'm so, and I know Mike is too, so very thankful for your commitment to raising awareness and funding for ALS, and for working hard to keep people like Mike Wright going.